The Special Operative observed all. Shrouded by the inky blackness of the night, he was free to watch the comings and goings from the stately house, without causing the slightest alarm to its occupants. He was an operative of the Penitus Oculatus, and the grueling training which had turned him into a merciless killer of near unparalleled ability had also made him patient, and so he sat on his haunches and waited. Presently, a lone figure, cowering from the night, walked up to the residence. Though attuned to the darkness, the Special Operative could not make out the features beneath the cowl, but he knew who it was, for the door swung inwards, with no visible command from the man. This was the owner of the house, and the man the Special Operative had been sent to drag back to his commander. The Penitus Oculatus had received intelligence that this nobleman was plotting treason of the most vile order, the assassination of the Emperor, and even though the truthfulness of these allegations could not be verified for certain, their existence merited him being interrogated. He moved to the side of the house, to the servants' entrance at the back, and knocked on the door. It opened, and the Special Operative was met with the pinched face of a servant, whose eyes widened when he saw our build. The servant was confronted with a hooded figure in a Penitus Oculatus uniform, face painted into the warlike guise of a grinning skull, the hallmark of the Penitus Oculatus's most elite killers. The servant's eyes widened in alarm, and he attempted to close the door, but the Special Operative was too fast. Using his shoulder, he barged into the room and wrapped his arm around the servant's neck, choking him into unconsciousness. Satisfied that he would not wake until the night's work was done, he crept silently through the servants' quarters and kitchens, before arriving at a chamber in which sat 5 men, nobles by all accounts, whispering in hushed tones. Over the next hour, our build heard precisely what he feared, a plot to contact the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim and kill the Emperor. The plotters were careful not to mention any of the conspirators by name, though it was implied that the treachery went all the way up to the High Council itself. The Special Operative had heard enough. It was time to act. There were 3 Imperial soldiers guarding the nobles, and although they would not have possessed his outright fighting ability, they were all veterans of the Great War, and would be tough to beat if he did not use his advantage of surprise. Drawing his weapon from its scabbard with a rasp, he sprang forwards, his whole body behind a sword thrust that took the first unsuspecting legionary in the stomach. Twisting his blade so that it would not become stuck, he ripped it from the fallen legionary and turned to face the other 2. There was no time to size up his opponents, as they charged him immediately, swords drawn. They pressed him hard and did not give him time to launch attacks of his own, only parry theirs. Seeing the smaller of the 2 edge out of his peripheral vision to attack him from behind, he feigned a strike to his larger opponent before altering the angle of his strike to take the legionary behind him. Now there was 1 left. This soldier was very different from his fellows. Well over 6 feet in height, he wielded a steel greatsword. Deflecting a powerful overhead strike, the Special Operative impaled the man through the thigh, but it did little to check his advance. However, before the fight could resume, a voice called out, "Rexus, get me out!" and the big man limped away at speed, followed by his master, into the night. 4 of the conspirators had been caught by Penitus Oculatus, stationed outside the front door, but the 5th had escaped, a bloody path smashed through the Oculatus by the great sword of the huge legionary. His work done, our build returned to headquarters to make his report. A week later, he was sent on another mission to Skyrim, to meet up with Commander Morrow and discover what he could about the Dark Brotherhood, and to intercept the contract on the Emperor. However, he was caught up in the skirmish at the border and taken to Helgen for execution. He knew now that an invisible player had bribed the legionaries to capture him, as they cared not that he was a Penitus Oculatus agent. He was able to kill 7 legionaries, and a further 2 with his bare hands once disarmed, but he was eventually subdued by superior numbers and taken to Helgen to await execution. From there, your story begins. So the main skills for this Imperial are sneak and archery, with your secondary skills being one-handed since you only need armsmen and the perks pertaining to blades, light armour, and block. The gear you will need is mostly that of the Penitus Oculatus, along with either the Torturer's hood or the Mage's hood, whichever you prefer. Upon arriving in Skyrim, you will take up the Nightingale blade as it bears similarities with the well-balanced blade, the build used well in the Oculatus, as well as the Blade of Woe taken from Astrid when you destroy the Dark Brotherhood, and the Dwarven crossbow, as our build admires its utility and the ability to fire a variety of quarrels for different situations. In terms of questlines, our build will complete the Civil War questline on the side of the Empire, the main questline, as well as destroying the Dark Brotherhood. The only essential mod I have used is Imperious Races of Skyrim, but I have used others to enhance the build you may not deem necessary, like Violens and the alternate start mod. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the build, and see you next time with another video.